If that makes him look more human, it says a lot about you guys, but I'll take it.
When Will was helping Hannibal fake escape at the end of season 3, what do you think he was kind of thinking would happen next?
Season 4.
And it's also beautiful. Wasn't it beautiful? You sick I got it.
There's like 3,000 people in this room right now. This is like your 4th sold-out audience in 6 months. We could have been filming season 4 here in the kennels. How does it feel?
Yeah, as you can tell, we are looking for work.
I love it.
Feels great. It's a big room. It's a lot of people and a lot of phones, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of maybe good questions, a lot of questions for sure.
So looking back to when you were first creating Will and Hannibal, aside from the Hannibal versions that are out there, did you have any real life or fictional inspirations for your characters?
Yes, I did. There's a book, I'm trying to remember the guy's name now, but he was kind of the creator of behavioral science, right? And I think he actually also almost died from encephalitis, and Thomas Harris stole that. So yeah, and he subsequently wrote a book about his experiences, which was very helpful.
Amazing.
So there you go.
And was there any kind of inspiration for like the look and feel of Will, or did that all come from
Brian Fuller, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian was also Hannibal.
Yeah, I read the Bible and looked at the fallen angel, Gabriel. That was pretty much it.
Amazing. Do you think that Hannibal's relationship with Will made him more human throughout the series than when he was at the beginning before we met him?
You think it's human what he's doing to Will?
I think that maybe Will inspires more human feelings in Hannibal,
No,
not that Hannibal treats Will.
It's a long-lost friend. It is a long-lost brother. He sees a partner in crime for sure. And if that makes him look more human, it says a lot about you guys, but I'll take it.
Amazing. And conversely, do you think Hannibal made Will sort of almost less human as the show went on?
I mean, again, we're talking really small increments. Less human, because he's not doing great at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he eats some people eventually. But yeah, no, I don't think either of them are very like high on the human scale.
So Will and Hannibal tried to kill each other several times throughout the series. If either one of them had actually succeeded, how do you think they would have felt afterwards?
Well, Will might have got a promotion. I mean, it's at least my job. But then he would probably have had a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah.
I think neither of them are like wholeheartedly going for it.
Okay.
I can for sure say if Hannibal wanted Will dead, he would be dead. I have a hunch it will be the same the other way around.
Is that so?
I think that's a very good answer.
And it's also beautiful. Wasn't it beautiful? You sick fucks.
Hugh, when Will was helping Hannibal fake escape at the end of season 3, what do you think he was kind of thinking would happen next?
Season 4. I don't think he really knew what was going to happen next. I just think he wasn't happy with the way things were going.
What was the most fun scene you had shooting in Hannibal?
You know, obviously we've answered that question before, and I think we usually say, which is probably true, the end of season 2, because it was a kind of epic scene, and it lasted all night. It was just, and it
But let's get creative.
Goes through so many different. But I was thinking the other day about actually the scene at the end of season 1 when we're in Garrett Jacob Hobbs's kitchen, and then it then it kind of turns, and it dawns on me, like, you know, that I'm pointing the gun in the wrong direction. That was pretty great to film as well. I remember feeling like, oh, okay, it feels like a cap on it. It feels like a summation of that whole season.
Yeah, for me, what's the doctor's name that checks you out for the encephalitis thingy? What's his name? Sutcliffe. Right. Crazy name. Yeah, so apparently somebody kills him and opens up his mouth from here to there. And so that was a dummy of that, and he was on set for a good couple of days.
Yeah, and I had worked with him on another job, and then didn't see him on that. I just walked onto set and saw his head.
Let's put it this way: we had a lot of fun with that dummy. It was extremely flexible, so that was a fun day. Yeah.
Past, do you remember the first role you ever acted in?
Professionally, that somebody paid me.
Or if it's funny and interesting? Not.
If it's funny.
And interesting.
Oh, right. I can't guarantee any of it was... Certainly the first things I got paid for were not funny or interesting. The first job I ever did was something called Trial and Retribution Part 2. Really? That's astonishing. Yeah, it was just, you know, starting out in British TV, episodic TV, or like bits and pieces here and there. And you...
Yeah, professionally, yeah, of course we remember the first thing, but the first thing I ever did, I think, as an actor, I was asked to be in one of these little, what do you call it, film school tests, where the director has a certain assignment. And I was playing a boxer together with a friend of mine. We were boxers, and I had a girlfriend, and he fell in love with my girlfriend, and I got jealous, stuff like that. Really exciting stuff. But I remember the first line I had. So we're sitting there, and he's sitting there, and somebody's holding this big boom, which is a microphone. And I had to ask him if he had seen Tina. And I just went like this. I said, "Have you seen Tina?" Loud and clearly into the mic. Everybody on the set, you know, cracked down laughing. And I remember vividly that day, if I ever continue acting, I will mumble so hard from now on. And nobody has an idea what I'm saying. And I stuck to that.
Is there any franchise or world that you haven't been able to join yet that you're fans of that you would love to be a part of?
I thought you were just going to say to Mads, is there any franchise in the world you haven't
been part of? Also fair.
I haven't been in Star Trek.
Ooh.
And I would not like to go. But I think I've answered that before. I'm a huge fan of zombies and therefore Walking Dead.
Yes. And there's so many Walking Dead shows.
I know it's been running for a long time and it will be repetitive, I guess. But there's something cool about killing zombies. There's also something really cool about being a zombie, so I can't make up my mind what I want to play.
Hugh?
What's that?
Do you have any franchise or worlds that you are a fan of that you would love?
I'm busy reading, well, not busy, I wouldn't say. I'm reading one of my kids, the Harry Potter books again. We keep, you know, well, not we keep, but we have more children, and then you end up reading the books again. So it's like the third time. And they're obviously remaking them, right? It's a TV series. So occasionally I do find myself thinking, God, my characterization of this is pretty good, you know. I think I've got something here.
Is that the very young version of
Well, then
Harry?
you realize that your only audience is a 6-year-old. You know, obviously the reviews are pretty good.
Do you do the
You should
voices?
tape it next time.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'd audition for everybody.
Lawrence Fishburne told me after a few weeks to pull myself up by the, what do you call it? The
bootstrap?
Yeah, kind of, in a more subtle way. Because I had the first scene with him, and he had seen a lot of my Danish work, and he got surprised that I was, it didn't feel as if it was my office. And I totally agreed. I was on thin ice in the first 2 weeks doing the show for many reasons. And he just, after the first take, he stopped and he said, Mads, come with me. And he went out for a cigarette and he said, listen, I've seen you act for the past 15 years. This is your office. Why do you behave as if it's somebody else's office? What? Don't listen to the DOP. Don't listen to the light guys where you should stand and sit. Do your thing. You're the boss of your room. And that was a very, very healthy advice for me because obviously it's Hannibal. He knows where the body is hidden, right? As a matter of expression.
Unless he's forgotten.
So, no, that was a super good advice because I forgot about that. I'm normally very good at saying this is my room once we start shooting. I've totally forgotten it when we started doing Hannibal, so I should thank him, and I have thanked him. Yeah.
Thank you, Lawrence.
But I was jumping around in different languages and also into the art world, and a lot of specific terms in Hungarian. And it was just, you're just basically learning stuff phonetically, and you look as if you know what you're talking about. And so that was, yeah, Hannibal faked it a lot, let's put it that way.
It's a funny description of acting. Yeah. Just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but that, everything has to be fine taste. Everything is leveled, right? So what I was dealing with was stuff I had literally never heard about before, constantly, right?
Yeah.
And I would ask my dialect coach, and she would go, don't ask me, I have no clue what's going on here, right? It's okay, fair enough. So I'll just sit and Google everything. Right?
There was a line about a roller coaster. I mean, obviously it wasn't literally about a roller coaster. It was like an analogy of and I can't honestly remember what the line was.
That's true.
But I remember delivering it, and then Lawrence saying, oh yeah, I recognize that line. He tried to have me say that line, and I said, no, I'm not saying that line. So then Brian had just like hung on to it, and I have a feeling for a while he'd like tried to like, you know, maybe Hannibal would say, so then he just made me say it.
Right. You see, Lawrence gave you advice as well.
Yeah.
Don't say yes. Just don't say it.